Earlier today, the Atlanta Falcons released Pro Bowl defensive tackle Grady Jarrett to get under the cap. Before the day is even over, Grady Jarrett lands a 3-year, $43.5 million deal, including $28.5 million guaranteed with the Chicago Bears. The Bears beefing up spending money on both lines. Grady Jarrett, in the span of a day, says an emotional goodbye to the team that he played his entire NFL career for. Now has a new home. You talk about a whirlwind of emotions. And I think sometimes we forget about that too, right? In a day like this, all the transactional activity, all the money being exchanged. But just think about spending 10 years in one place, becoming a Pro Bowl tackle, being established in the community, getting released, and then finding out before the day is through that you're moving to Chicago with a huge new contract.
Yeah, the human side of this should not be ignored, so I'm glad that you brought that up. It is very obvious, the approach that the Bears are taking so far, fortifying the lines of scrimmage, specifically the O-line, but now you see Grady Jarrett added there as well. Lewis, your reaction to that?
Well, look, Dennis Allen is someone I think most people have a lot of respect for as a defensive coordinator. And, you figure right now they have Javon Dexter, who they drafted out of Florida. Now they bring Grady Jarrett, who's kind of like a little bit different. Grady's a more upfield penetrator, a guy who can just get upfield, take a gap, get in the backfield, and really cause some havoc. And you need to pair those different kind of body types on the defensive line. On the offensive line, look, I always go back to thinking about the days of when the New Orleans Saints were trying to protect Drew Brees and how they were always stout in the middle when they had Jario Evans and had Carl Nicks. And in the middle, Drew could just hide in that pocket right there. And then everything around him he would manage, although you want to have some good offensive tackles. I like the approach of how they're trying to protect Caleb Williams as well. What's interesting now is, will Caleb develop that kind of pocket presence and that comfortability to stay in there where they should be stout in the interior three? We'll see what happens with the tackles. See, this kind of stuff is fascinating to me. I think putting the pieces together and the puzzle together is really cool. And they're doing a nice job of it.
I think you're also starting to see Ryan Poles, who's the general manager of Chicago, really start to get his imprint upon this football team. It feels he's an ex-offensive lineman, the lines of scrimmage. To Lewis's point when it comes to Caleb, as a quarterback, you can only listen to "we're going to protect you" so much. You can until you're like, no, you're not. I'm running for my life. And that necessarily, that's going to be the big thing for Caleb, is to truly buy in to Ben Johnson saying, I'm going to keep you clean. You got to trust me that I'll protect you. Now, what I need you to do is when I call these plays to get the ball to your hand, you got to get the ball to your hand. And when I call plays to hold it, let's hold it and try to make some shots down the field. And I think that's going to be the growth and development that'll be at the forefront for Caleb Williams. But my mind, after seeing what Chicago has done today, saying, oh my gosh, this division. Chicago was the weakness last year within the division. Minnesota's still going to be Minnesota. Detroit's still going to be Detroit. And Green Bay is still going to be Green Bay. This division is going to be an absolute bear.